All right, today we are starting a brand new chapter. We're done with plants. We're moving on to animal diversity. So I'm going to break down lesson 1 into 2 parts, what defines an animal. So I think today I'm going to talk about characteristics of animals, and then tomorrow's lecture will be about the molecular portions and how animals are related to one another. So today we're going to focus on what characteristics do all animals have, and then talk a little bit about how they are classified. So animal characteristics, remember all animals belong to the kingdom Animalia, and they are multicellular, so they're made up of many cells. They are eukaryotes, which means that they have a nucleus, nuke. The cells are specialized for different functions. So because they are multicellular, they might have like muscle cells, nervous cells, cells for the stomach. I just kind of blanked on a few things. Epithelial cells, skin covering. So cells that carry out specific jobs. So we have cells that are specialized for sight and digestion and reproduction and vision as well. Continuing on, they have a protein called collagen. Okay, surrounds cells and helps give them structure. Very strong protein. Animals get energy by eating other organisms. They have the ability to digest food. They reproduce sexually, and they have some form of movement in their stage of life. Maybe it's just in the juvenile stage, and then when they're adults, they become immobile, like sponges. Sponges are considered animals, and in their immature stage or young stage, they can move, and then they become attached to a substrate as they become adults. So, how we classify animals? We classify them as either with backbones or no backbones. So vertebrate means that they have a backbone. Some great examples of vertebrates: fish, humans, lizards, birds. Invertebrates are animals without a backbone, and there's lots of them, and we'll discuss them in section 11.2, specifically titled Invertebrates, but examples: worms, spiders, snails, crayfish, insects. Invertebrates make up 95% of the animal kingdom. So there are way more invertebrates than there are vertebrates. We also classify animals based on their symmetry, basically looking at their body plans. Do they have radial symmetry, bilateral symmetry, or no symmetry at all? So radial symmetry means that you can divide this organism into two parts that are nearly mirror anywhere through its central axes. So jellyfish, you can cut this jellyfish numerous ways and still get a mirror image. Starfish, look how many different ways you can cut a starfish where you would get a mirror image. Sea anemones. Now, bilateral means that you can basically only cut it one way, and they'll be mirror halves or identical to each other. So mammals and reptiles, insects, and worms fit the bilateral symmetry, whereas these guys up here, mollusca, echinoderms, I'm forgetting the phylum for these guys, I can't think, but anyways, radial symmetry. So another diagram showing radial versus bilateral symmetry. Now, sponges have no symmetry at all. And so we'll talk about sponges in section 11.2, but you can either have bilateral symmetry, radial symmetry, or no symmetry, also known as asymmetrical, I believe. Asymmetry, here we go. Cannot be divided into any two parts that are nearly mirror images of each other, so sponges fit this category. Well, I was going to do like an activity with you guys if we were in the classroom and we would sort this out, but yeah, distance learning kind of has destroyed that, right? Okay, so that does it for the first part of 11.1.